Live from the News Center in high definition, this is News Channel 8 on your side today.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to News Channel 8 Today. I'm Rod Carter.
I'm Gil Guayardo. Today is Thursday, September 27th. In the headlines this morning, breaking news from the National Football League. Just hours ago, the NFL confirmed that a deal has been reached to end the referee lockout. The NFL said it's prepared to have union referees ready to go for the game between the Ravens and the Browns tonight.
8 on your side was first to show you the problem. People living in a bat-infested apartment building in Tampa. We found bats crawling around the ground, bats crawling out of holes in the buildings, in the curtains, everywhere. We're live this morning to tell you what the owner is doing about the problem.
No more movies at Channelside Cinemas. The owners closed it down this week, which may have come to a shock, especially to those who had events booked at the theater. We are live to explain how 8 on your side helped. And we're going to have more news headlines coming your way in just a moment.
First, let's go to Storm Teammate meteorologist Lee Spann for a Thursday morning forecast. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. Every day we've talked about it being just a little bit warmer and a little bit more humid, and nothing has changed today. In fact, it's the warmest morning we've seen all week. 75 degrees right now in Tampa. We're at 70 in Brooksville, 78 in St. Pete, 70 in Northport, 73 in Winter Haven. And yes, it's a bit more humid as well. 76 degrees at 9 a.m., warming up to 85 at noon. We do bring in that 30% chance of late afternoon and early evening storms just like yesterday as well. Now let's check in on the roadways. How are they looking, Leslie?
Well, overall, it's been a pretty good drive this morning. We do have a couple incidences working right now. I-4 westbound, right at the junction of 275. Just got word of a crash here, folks, but it's off to the shoulder. Not tying up on any of those lanes, and looking at our camera, it's actually a pretty good drive through the junction. And you can see right now, 275, this is southbound coming towards us. That's where we're starting to see some slow and go traffic as you build towards downtown, northbound, an easier drive. But you start to hit those brakes in pockets around Fowler, through Martin Luther King, and over the next half hour, it's going to get even busier as you move towards downtown. If you happen to use Twitter, please tweet me at Leslie Lacey on Twitter. Back to you guys.
All right, thanks, Leslie.
8 on your side has the latest developments on a story that could make your skin crawl just a bit this Thursday morning. Folks living at the Cinnamon Cove apartment complex contacted 8 on your side this week about that. They didn't know what to do about these bats. Bats have infested their apartments, and they felt the complex owners just weren't working quickly enough to eliminate the problem. News Channel 8's Chip Osowski is covering the story for us. He's at the complex with the latest on the situation. I understand now a lot of people just kind of gave up and said they're just leaving.
Well, you're exactly right, Rod. Complex management is allowing affected residents to move to other apartments within Cinnamon Cove free of charge while they work to resolve this issue. That was welcome news to Carrie Covington. She's seen bats in her apartment crawling around the cracks and crevices all around her building. As friends were helping her move out, they found bats in the apartment. Some were alive, some were dead. Covington says she had no idea there were so many bats. The owner of Cinnamon Cove called in bat experts at Wildlife Solutions to get rid of the bats, but even with a licensed team of experts, it may take several days before the bats are trapped and moved.
We have to identify where the roost locations are. We have to set up an eviction device at those locations.
Bats are a protected species in Florida, so you can't just kill them. If you have a bat problem, you have to call someone who is licensed to deal with bats, and representatives from Wildlife Solutions estimate it'll be 7 to 8 days before all of these bats, more than 1,000 of them, are removed and relocated. Rod?
All right, Chip, thank you. Wildlife experts do think that the bats were actually forced to move into that apartment complex after their habitat, which was a patch of woods adjacent to the Cinnamon Cove, was actually leveled by bulldozers recently.
It's a story we first reported this week, the closure of the Channelside Cinemas in Tampa. It came as a shock to many, especially those who had events booked at the theater. The closure left some groups scrambling to find alternative locations. 8 on your side helped people planning a huge Clash reunion in that very predicament. News Channel 8's Adrian Pedersen joins us now live at Channelside this morning with the very latest. Adrian, good morning.
Good morning, Gail. You know, that's exactly what happened to one woman we talked to. She planned this reunion with about 400 people expected to show up, and then she realized she might be out of luck when it came to the location.
This is a really, really big event. We were counting on at least 400. We have 500 tickets printed.
Valerie Fraser says she paid a $500 deposit to have a class reunion at the theater October 13th. 8 on Your Side called theater management to find out what she should do. Turns out they'd already been working to find a new location for the event.
I'm going to stand by what I believe in, which the business believes in, and accommodate customers, whether it's a refund, changing the venue as much as we can.
Instead of having it at the Channelside Cinemas, the reunion, which is also a fundraiser for the Cancer Society, will happen right under the theater at a Greek restaurant.
We don't want to disrupt and displease more customers,
Yeah.
So moving it from upstairs down here, truthfully, this actually, on the water is beautiful.
Reunion organizers say they're happy with the compromise.
I'm going to be satisfied. I think Matt here has worked out a great deal for us, and I think it's going to be excellent for us.
Sounds like it all worked out for the reunion, but the rent for the Channelside theaters, well, the manager tells us that was $55,000 a month. No wonder why they couldn't afford it. They said they tried to get the complex to lower that, but when the complex wouldn't budge, they had to close their doors. Gail?
Okay, thanks, Adrian. About 25 events were set to happen at the theater. Some will be moved to other venues, but others are just being canceled.
Some parents of students at a Brandon middle school are outraged this morning after a teacher brought a Ouija board into the classroom.
We didn't feel that that was something that was appropriate.
Tim Ellefson was shocked when a 7th grader at Burns Middle School came home interested in Ouija boards and summoning the spirit. Linda Cobb, spokeswoman for the Hillsborough County School District, says the students indicated they were interested in books such as Harry Potter or subjects on the paranormal.
There was a fake Ouija board. It was set up in a corner by the book as like a display. The teacher did show the students what it was, what it looked like, and asked the students if they'd ever heard of one.
The teacher, Teresa Clinton, also wrote a book called The Ouija Board Diaries, Summoning the Spirit. She sent students home with order forms to buy that book, which also did not go over well at all with some of those parents.
Police caught 2 students with guns at separate Pinellas County high schools in the first 5 weeks of school. The disturbing incidents also caught the attention of school board member Glenton Glizian Jr. He's alarmed at the number of arrests at schools across the county. He says in the 2010-2011 school year, there were 794 arrests, and that number rose last year to 952 arrests. Gilzian called for a special workshop for the school board to take a closer look at school safety issues.
It was time for us to step up and ensure the public that we are doing whatever we can to ensure the safety for not only our students, our teachers.
The school board will take a closer look at school safety issues at the special safety workshop, which is scheduled for October 9th. New disturbing details in the case of a missing University of Florida freshman. Police say Pedro Bravo, the teen charged in connection with 18-year-old Christian Aguilar's disappearance, bought a shovel and a roll of duct tape before Aguilar vanished. Aguilar has not been seen since Thursday. Hundreds of people gathered in Miami, Aguilar's hometown, to hold a candlelight vigil this week. Bravo admits to having a fight with Aguilar. Police say Aguilar was injured when Bravo dropped him off. Bravo is charged with depriving a crime victim of medical care.
Turning now to the latest on Decision 2012 in the race for the White House. A new poll shows President Obama leading his Republican challenger Mitt Romney here in the Sunshine State. A Quinnipiac University poll found 53% of likely voters here in Florida support the president, while 44% back Mitt Romney. Only 3%, according to the poll, are undecided. Now, on the campaign trail, Mitt Romney spent yesterday in Ohio while his running mate campaigned in the other battleground state, another one, Colorado. Ryan held a rally in Colorado Springs. It's his second event in the city in just 20 days. Today, Ryan will campaign in Tennessee and Romney will head to Virginia. Meanwhile, President Obama also spent time in Ohio yesterday holding 2 rallies, 2 college rallies, in fact. Right now, polls show him ahead in Ohio. The president is releasing a new 2-minute ad campaign that reminds voters the nation is moving forward again. It will start airing today in the 7 battleground states. Of course, one of those states is right here in Florida. All right, the presidential candidates will take part in their first debate. This takes place next Wednesday, and it'll happen at the University of Denver and will focus on a few things, key items: the economy, health care, and the role of government.
A gator attacks when a woman falls into a canal in Lake County. Details about that story coming up. Then take a look at this dramatic video of a truck exploding out west. We'll explain what caused the fiery blast.
And that accident out on 301 still tying up lanes. I've got the details and the detour coming up with your True Speed traffic.
And it's mild this morning. We checked in with our weather watcher, Carol, in Carrollwood. She says it's 74 degrees at her house. We're going to see the humidity value continue to increase, and that's why it's not going to be quite as cool this morning for the kids out at the bus stop. Just a few clouds, though, around 75 degrees. We'll warm up to 89 degrees this afternoon, though, and about a 30% chance of storms. I'll tell you more about your rain chances as we get closer to the weekend, but don't forget you can always catch Storm Team 8's forecast on News Radio 970 WFLA. It's 6:41, and you're watching News Channel 8 today.
TBO traffic.